You walk into a room, and no one looks up. You speak, and someone talks over you. You offer a thought, and they smile politely, then move on. It's not loud, it's not cruel, it's just quiet. Like the world slowly turned the volume down on you, and you start to wonder, when did I become invisible? If you've ever felt like that, you're not alone. Millions of people over 65 quietly carry this ache, not of being disliked, but of being dismissed. But here's the truth they don't tell you. You are not invisible. You've just entered a chapter where you have to reclaim your presence on purpose. Today, we're going to talk about reasons where this feeling comes from, why it happens, and most importantly, how to get your voice, your spark, and your rightful place in this world back. Let's begin. It's not just you. Society shifts its gaze. Here's something no one prepares you for. At some point after 60, the spotlight subtly shifts from you to the younger generation. Stores start aiming their ads at 30-year-olds. Doctors speak to your adult children, not you. And even the tech you use assumes you don't exist. Or worse, that you couldn't possibly figure it out. It's not that the world hates older people. It's that we live in a culture that quietly equates youth with value. And so, the older you get, the more you're expected to fade into the background. But fading isn't your fault. You didn't shrink. The world stopped looking. Take Joan, for example. She spent decades as a teacher, commanding attention, shaping lives, making noise. Then she retired, and suddenly she felt like wallpaper. No one asked her opinion. No one invited her input. She went from being Miss Parker to that quiet lady with the silver hair. And the strangest part? No one meant to hurt her. They just forgot to see her. If you felt that too, that quiet, painful sense of being overlooked, know this. It's not because you've lost worth. It's because the world has forgotten how to honor it. But we're not here to complain. We're here to reclaim. And that starts with something small, but mighty. Start with the mirror. Presence begins with you. Before the world can see you again, you have to see yourself. This might sound simple, but it's profound. We start believing the story that we're invisible, and then we start behaving like it. We stop dressing up. We lower our voice. We wave off compliments and say, "Oh, it doesn't matter anymore." But it does. Reclaiming your presence doesn't begin with shouting louder. It begins with reminding yourself you still deserve to be seen. Take Elaine, 72. After losing her husband, she said she felt like a ghost in her own life. One day, she caught a glimpse of herself in a store window. Hunched, rushed, head down. And she thought, that's not me. So she did one small thing. She started wearing her favorite lipstick again, the color her husband loved, the one that made her feel bold. And then she started walking straighter, speaking clearer. Not for attention, but because she remembered who she was. Presence isn't about ego. It's about essence. It's about showing up in your own life, with posture, with purpose, with pride. So before we fix what's out there, let's nourish what's in here. Speak up, even if they don't expect you to. Here's a hard truth. Sometimes people stop listening because they stopped expecting you to speak. They assume you'll stay quiet. They jump in, cut you off, finish your sentences, and you start to wonder if it's even worth saying anything at all. But here's the shift. Your voice doesn't need permission. It needs practice. You don't have to shout. You just have to stop shrinking. Try this. In your next conversation, pause and hold your ground. If someone interrupts, gently say, "Let me finish this thought." It's not rude, it's respectful to yourself. And when you disagree with someone younger, don't default to silence. Say, "That's an interesting take. Let me offer another perspective." You have decades of lived experience, not opinions from articles, but wisdom from life. Don't mute that. Don't whisper what deserves to be heard. Speaking up doesn't make you difficult. It makes you visible. And the more often you do it, the more people around you will remember you're still here, still sharp, still worth listening to. Dress the way you want to be treated. It might sound superficial, but the way you show up physically tells the world how to engage with you. And after 65, it's easy to slip into the mindset of, why bother? Who am I dressing up for? I'm comfortable. That's enough. But here's the secret. You're not dressing for others. You're dressing to remind yourself that you still matter. Think of it like armor. Not stiff or flashy, but intentional, protective, empowering. When you wear color that lights up your eyes, when you put on earrings that make you smile in the mirror, when your outfit says, I'm still vibrant instead of, I've given up, people notice. But more importantly, you notice. Take Rita, 68. She used to be the kind of woman who wore scarves with flair and always matched her lipstick to her mood. But over time, she let that version of herself fade. Until one day, she decided to dress like the woman she missed. She didn't need a makeover, she needed a reminder. And with every small act, earrings, perfume, a scarf tossed just right, she felt more present in her own skin. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about honoring the woman, or man, who still wants to be seen. Reconnect with what makes you feel alive. When you stop doing the things that light you up, you don't just become invisible to others. You start to disappear from yourself, and it's not always obvious. Sometimes it starts small. You skip your morning walk. You stop playing your favorite music. You shelve that hobby you loved for years. You say, nah, I'm too old for that now. But here's the gentle wake-up call. You're not too old. You're just out of practice. Ask yourself, what made me feel electric? Was it gardening, dancing, sketching old buildings on quiet afternoons? Was it learning, laughing, starting something new? Now ask, when did I stop? And why? Reclaiming your presence isn't just about how others see you. It's about reigniting what makes you feel like you. And when you do that, even in tiny, almost silly ways, the spark returns. You laugh more, stand taller, attract people who vibe with the real you. Just look at George, 74. He used to love photography, but after retiring he said, "What's the point? Who cares?" Then one day he picked up his old camera, walked to the park and snapped a photo of the way sunlight hit a bench. He showed no one. He just smiled and whispered, "There you are." That's all it takes. Not applause, not a platform, just a moment that wakes you back up. You deserve to take up space without apology. Somewhere along the way, many of us, especially as we get older, start shrinking ourselves to make room. We speak softer, move slower, even sit a little smaller in public spaces. Not because we want to, but because we feel like we're supposed to. We don't want to be a burden. We don't want to seem in the way. We don't want to draw too much attention. But here's the truth. No one says out loud, you have earned the right to be fully here. Not just tolerated, but present. Not just useful, but valued. Taking up space doesn't mean being loud or demanding. It means owning your worth without apologizing for it. Like ordering exactly what you want at the cafe, without rushing, or asking a question at a doctor's office and expecting a clear answer, or sitting in the front row, or dancing at the party, or wearing that bright red coat simply because it makes you feel alive. You don't need to shrink. You don't need to blend in. You've spent a lifetime showing up for others. Now it's time to show up as yourself, unapologetically. You've earned your voice. You've earned your joy. You've earned your space. So take it. If you've ever felt invisible after 65, I want you to know you are not fading. You are transforming. This chapter of life isn't the end of your presence. It's the beginning of a more authentic one, where you don't have to play roles, or stay quiet, or seek approval. You get to be fully seen, fully heard, and fully yourself, on your own terms. So wear the bold color, speak the quiet truth, reconnect with what lights you up, even if no one else claps. And when you do, the world will adjust. They'll look again, they'll remember, because presence isn't given, it's claimed. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt invisible, even around people who love you? What helped you feel seen again? Leave a comment. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. And if this video spoke to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another reminder that your life, your voice, and your wisdom still matter. You're not invisible. You're just getting started.